Hi, I'm Sterling Miller, and I serve as the executive producer and screenwriter of When God Whispers.
Where'd the idea for this project come up? Like,
So, honestly, after seeing um, a surge of black talent represented in major productions such as um, Get Out, the Jordan Peele film, and also um, when Moonlight, I really wanted to do the same. I wanted to tell a political story. I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to tell a story that's gonna piss off some really conservative Christians. Um, Two gay boys who love each other, two gay black boys who grew up in the church, come to the realization that, this world that they were born into is not treating them how they should be treated. And I wanted them to, fit the standards of a typical black youth. They play sports, they're athletic, they have sibling structures. They also are like very unique in their artistic abilities, and it just shows the dynamic of black identity as more than just, one thing. Like, of course we can fit into this mode of blackness, but at the same time, we're so much more than that putting us in that mode is just ridiculous. So I wanted to piss somebody off, but at the same time also humanize my black queerness. So I decided to write a tragic love story, but also create a powerful film that once that pissed off person, settles down, they actually have the opportunity to reflect on, the critical moments of this political art form. Like when we, as black people, we set up our families in certain structures like heteronormative and, you're straight or you're out type of situations. I feel like we fail ourselves. The process of establishing my team for this film was basically seeking out a really cool film major that I knew already, and that was Taylor Simmons. And she was down for the project from the get up, and I'm the creative mind, not the sole creative mind, but the primary creative mind of the project. And it became just trying to make this vision come alive and really creating these situations that we all can relate to. The crew was put together primarily by Taylor and her friends. It was just literally a friend group that we wanted to explore with, and we really created some fun moments and some exciting times.
Okay, my name is Taylor Simmons and I'm the director. I came about working on this project. I was walking on campus one day and then Sterling came up to me and he was like, I have an idea for a project and I think we would work really well together if we partnered up for it. So before he even told me what it was about, I was on board because I've always wanted to work with him on a project. Since we first met, we kind of just clicked, and I really liked his artistic side. And so I knew if we were to ever work on a project together, it would be amazing, honestly, because we're both just those type of people. It was last semester that we first started working on it. He came to me with the idea. He didn't have a script or anything, but he just came to me with the concept, and then he was like, I'm going to spend all of winter break working on the script. And then so we like kind of outlined the film as a whole, and then he wrote the script entirely, and then he brought it back to me, and we like made corrections and things like that, and edited it, and like, you know, made sure it flew and got it to where it needed to be. And from there, we started adding more people on to kind of build a crew and a base, just so we could execute the film as smoothly as possible. Okay, so the first person we added was Sadiq. He happened to be there while we were reviewing and editing the script, and he was there for a read-through, I believe, and so he started like contributing different ideas for the film, and so he just kind of naturally became a part of the crew. Then we added Mikael. She became the casting director. I'm not sure how we got in contact with her, but it happened, and she became the casting director, and I really liked working with her because she was like really organized and really outgoing, so she was a great casting director. Then we added Dion. He was, I don't know how we got in contact with him either.
Well, basically, we were at the Delta's talent show, and me and Sterling were both doing spoken word pieces, and like the day of the show, we were both backstage. He was like, "Hey, Dion, you want to do something?" I'm like, "What?" And like he saw my work I did with this campaign video I did a few weeks prior to the actual project or whatever, and he was like, you know, I really liked your editing skills and your cinematography for that video. Would you mind you know, working on this short film with me? And I'm like, bet, like, say less. So, you know, from there, he said that I was going to be working with this dude named Sadiq Carpenter. I think we all know what that is, right? Yeah. And then Taylor Simmons. And from there, we just started to make things happen.
So pre-production was probably one of my favorite parts.
Well, y'all had that down, so I say 10.
Not to quote Solange, but we saw things we imagined, and we just kept on like holding our vision firm in our mind, like.
Because that's when you really get to add like the little details. It was tedious for sure because we had to keep going back to revise things, revise the script, revise the whole flow of everything.
It became one of those situations where it's like, yeah, you plan, but as Taylor puts it, anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
We went back to rewrite a lot of scenes. We took out scenes, we added scenes. I have like a whole notebook, like just filled with notes of like things we changed. But I think that was probably one of the most fun parts because we got to be like really creative, and we would just have these sessions where we would just sit for hours and brainstorm, and I think that was definitely one of the most fun parts.
You know, I felt like I learned a lot just being around you guys, because, you know, I knew how to use a camera and shoot, and you know, I knew different angles and shots and stuff, but just being around you guys just made me like learn the process more, because, you know, you can talk about the process a lot, but
like picturing something in your head and then trying to make it come to life is not an easy process at all.
there's a difference from knowing the process and actually knowing it and like doing it and incorporating this process to make actual works, you know.
Yeah.
I found that if I stick to my my dream and my vision and push all that fear aside. And honestly, like sometimes the fear doesn't go away, it's still down deep inside of you, but sometimes it's just like trying to work over that fear and just constantly be toppling it.
Actually, my advice is from Solange. Shout out to Solange. On her most recent album, she had an interlude, and she just repeated this one sentence over and over, and it was, how could I forget this sentence? This is my one piece of advice. I think it went along the lines of, do nothing without intention.
Hell, anybody that aspires to do something in entertainment, you know, no one said that it wasn't going to be, you know, risky or easy. But I think if you have a cause and you stick to your cause and believe firmly into your cause, other people will start to firmly believe into your cause because you believe in your cause so damn much that they're like, damn, like his cause must be like the causes of all causes. So
That's one of like the key ingredients to a great film, is doing every little thing with intention, like putting intention and putting passion in every little idea, in every little cut you make, in every little swivel, in every placement you have. Like just do everything with a purpose behind it, because then that'll really add like another element to your film that you can't get elsewhere.
because in the long run, if your project, can I cuss? Can I cuss, bro?
Fuck what anybody and everybody has to say. I don't give a damn if it's your mama, your children, your great auntie Rosie.
If your project is really the shit, you know, it's gonna get like its recognition and it's going to gain clout. It's gonna get the ball rolling for you.
Follow what your heart tells you to do. That's the only way you're not gonna lose.
I think if you do everything with intention, you'll be good. If it's with good intention, obviously. But yeah, that's my advice.
You gotta use what you have and use your resources. You know, despite you know, you always tend to think that, you know, someone else has more than me. But you gotta use what you got to make the best out of what you have and then go from there. Cause just think about it like this: your first project is always gonna be your worst project. So yeah, someone's knocking on my door, I'm gonna answer it.
But as long as you follow your heart, who can stop you?